Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The latest happenings on American cable television must be discussed. Because, in addition to wins and trophies, there are events in the world of professional tennis that significantly alter the demographics of the sport. We just witnessed the latter. If you have been watching the statistics from Tennis Channel USA over the last 48 hours, you might have noticed a statistical anomaly, a spike, or a surge that contradicts the standard analytics of a mid-season broadcast. The Tennis Channel, a network that has historically claimed to reach over 60 million households nationwide, frequently caters to a very specific traditional tennis clientele. This week, a 20-year-old southpaw from Quezon City, Philippines named Eala Alexandra caused a viral digital storm that completely caught Santa Monica executives, analysts, and producers off guard. It's a world of technical study, legacy fan bases, and silent appreciation. Everywhere you look, the headline is true. Tennis Channel USA was surprised. That would be an understatement, though. They weren't just surprised. They were overwhelmed. When the network showcased Eala's incredible run and subsequent entry into the WDA Top 50, they didn't just draw a regular segment viewership. They have access to one of the most committed, tech-savvy, and enthusiastic fan bases in all of sports. We're talking about the Filipino diaspora worldwide. The aforementioned video clip did more than just appear on television. It was meant to be a standard profile of a budding celebrity. It shifted. The brand of the Tennis Channel was ripped, clipped, shared, and erupted on social media in a way that is rare outside of a Grand Slam final involving the Big Three. The engagement rates are similar to those of the titans of sports, Alcaraz, golf, and Swiatek. However, this was not an American champion. Alexandra Eala was the one. Why is this significant? For decades, tennis has been searching for the next big market. They studied China with Lina Na. They studied Japan with Naomi Osaka and Kei Nishikori. But things are different for Alex right now. It's natural. It is loud and obvious. One player who represents a nation in dire need of a world-class athlete suddenly receives a sizable percentage of the 60 million households that watch. You have the potential to become a viral phenomenon. Today, we're going to attempt something different. We'll provide more information than just the score. We're going far. One component at a time, we shall dissect this phenomenon. We'll look at Alex's journey from the Manila Shell Court to the US Open's spotless hard courts. We'll look at the raffinatal factor. Her training at the institution shaped her tough demeanor. We will look at the technical changes in her game that have allowed her to defeat Grand Slam winners. Above all, we will examine why this specific viral moment on Tennis Channel portends future developments for women's tennis. The United States has been woken by Alex. Currently, 60 million people are watching. It is no longer a matter of who she is. The question is how far she can go. Put on your seatbelt. This is the deep dive. Let's put this viral moment in perspective so we can understand the extent of what we are seeing on the Tennis Channel. You have to understand the void Alexandra Eala is attempting to bridge. For a very long time, Southeast Asian tennis has been searching for a player capable of going beyond a regional circuit. We have seen exceptional athletes. Without a doubt, we have seen journeymen who have built respectable careers. But that is a unicorn, an actual, reputable WDA Tour singles competitor. When the Tennis Channel aired their feature, they most likely expected a standard thank you post. The portion should be viewed by the player. They encountered a conflict with patriotism. Remember that the Philippines vanishes when Manny Pacquiao fights. This country flocks to the NBA's common areas whenever a player with even a hint of Filipino origin on the field. Thus, when Alexandra Eala, a native talent who speaks a language, wears a flag and boldly exhibits her origins at Wimbledon by donning Sejita hair ties, is highlighted on a major U.S. network, there is more than just cheering. It's possession. The fans feel like they are part of the journey. And what a journey it has been. It wasn't a singular instance that gained widespread attention. It is the outcome of years of brilliant, brutal, and systematic ascent. Let's start at the beginning. It would be impossible to talk about Alexandra Eala without bringing up Monaco, Spain, the Rafa Nadal Academy. A particular lineage originates from that institution. When you watch Eala perform, especially in these recent moments, you can see the spirit of that academy. The weight of the top spin makes it clear. One example of it is the refusal to give up on a ball. A rumor about Eala's practice sessions with Rafael Nadal was recently confirmed. Imagine that for a moment. You are fighting the king of clay as a teenager. He suggested that she surround herself with good people. This advice could spell the difference between burnout and longevity in the cutthroat world of professional tennis. It might sound simple, perhaps cheesy. Nadal's most recent changes to her playing style show off her masculinity. Her success in the 2022 U.S. Open Juniors, where she became the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, is remarkably different from her performance in the 2025 to 2026 season. She could count on the juniors' perseverance and grit. When up against strong hitters like Sabalenka or Jessica Pegula in the professional levels, grit is enough. Weapons are essential. Her new arsenal, especially her lefty forehand, is highlighted in popular videos on the tennis channel. Being a lefty is already a significant tactical advantage in women's tennis. It gives right-handers access to angles that are just not possible. The opponent's rhythm is disrupted. Eala has begun to refine that shot. She had taken the ball earlier. The best illustration of this was her match against Clara Tauson in the U.S. Open, the game that really cemented her place in popular culture. In the final set, Eala refused to back down. She stepped in. It's a powerful force. From assault to defense. Let's talk about the U.S. Open run to see why the American audience is suddenly interested. The U.S. Grand Slam is the loudest and most chaotic. Be open. The setting is New York City. Success there requires a certain kind of showmanship, or at the very least the ability to put up with the noise. In it, A thrived. Why? Due to the presence of the Filipino population in New York. On outside courts, we saw things that looked like Davis Cup ties. Chants, flags, and a thrilling atmosphere. The Tennis Channel cameras caught this enthusiasm. They saw that Eala was equipped with an atmosphere generator. For a broadcaster, that is priceless. A player who draws her own crowd is what you want on your screen. This is why they are showcasing her. As a result, she is becoming viral. But it's more than just the atmosphere. It's the results. We have to look at the numbers. Reaching the top 50 in the WTA rankings is arguably the hardest step in professional tennis. There is a huge gap between the top 50 and the top 100. It distinguishes the qualifiers from the basics of the main draw. Eala's accomplishment of ranking 50th in the world tells the tour that she is no longer a prospect. She is a rival. Her career took a dramatic turn towards the end of 2025. The SEA Games gold medal. For Eala and her closest supporters, that goal represented atonement. Even though the Southeast Asian Games may not seem known to an American audience watching the Tennis Channel, it was a duty. When it came to playing for the flag, she was in charge. She never missed a set. The triumph was a pressure cooker. She was a huge favorite. Anything that didn't achieve the goal would have been a failure. You need the mental ability to handle that expectation if you want to win matches on the WTA Tour. Let's revisit the topic of the viral factor, the social media section. These days, a player's personality matters almost as much as their backhand. Eala's ability to maintain equilibrium is improving. She has a clear voice. She is humble, but she is quite proud. Whether intentional or not, the Sagwa moment at Wimbledon when she wore the national flower of the Philippines was a master study in branding. It gave the audience a sign. It gave the story a visual hook. When summarizing her season, the Tennis Channel concentrated on these intimate details. The friendship and joint creation of history with Zion Salmez, a Turkish footballer. These tales resonate with a global audience that longs for connection. I now want to focus on the technical analysis of why her game is so popular on TV, which contributes to the explanation of the enormous viewership. A's game is graphically beautiful. It's neat. She doesn't complain too much. Her fluid motions look good in slow-motion replays. Her down-the-line backhand, a staple of sports television, is beginning to take center stage. When you have a signature shot, highlight reels are created. When you get highlight reels, you get more subscribers. It's a cycle of visibility. However, we must also exercise critical thinking. This thorough study wouldn't be accurate if we didn't take the challenges into account. The viral fame has two sides. The Tennis Channel piece has brought her millions of new viewers and critics. The calibrated expectation is now the top 50. A first-round defeat is no longer a teaching opportunity. It's distressing. There's a lot of pressure on her shoulders. We saw this with Emma Raducanu. We saw this with Osaka. You move from being a media favorite to the tour's target in an instant. Thanks to the 60 million homes that watch the Tennis Channel, Eala is already in the living rooms of the typical American sports fan. She is no longer just a Filipino hero. In tennis, she is beginning to get recognition. This changes the way competitors prepare for her. They'll look into her more carefully. If we are being analytical, they will go for her second serve, which is still the area that needs the greatest defense. Her kick serve is effective on clay courts, but it can sit up on the fast, hard courts of a U.S. swing if it is not positioned correctly. The viral scrutiny will highlight these shortcomings. However, this counterargument is the source of the optimism surrounding this news cycle. At 20 years old, Eala has shown an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. Watch her match versus Jessica Pegula in Miami. Pegula is a flat, hard, low machine. That speed was too fast for me to keep up. She didn't get kicked off the court. Although she didn't win, she did take part. With her bout, she proved she belonged in the 1,000-level competitions. This is known to the Tennis Channel analysts. As a result, they are marketing her products. They're betting that her stock will rise. They are relying on the fact that if she performs well at the US Open or Indian Wells, that 60 million reach will become ratings gold. We must also talk about the Asian swing. Despite the fact that tennis is a global sport, the Asian swing at the end of the season is sometimes overlooked by Western media. A is changing that dynamic. She is currently the face of that region. If the tennis broadcaster wants to keep viewers during the Asian swing, Eala is essential. She is the bridge. She makes a connection between the US primetime audience and the competitions in Tokyo, Beijing, and Hong Kong.